Hey, what's up? This is Jay Faith. My album Moving Out is officially streaming everywhere. Make sure you go check it out. And this is my album analysis. What's up?
And welcome back. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially back in session. We are here for our final album analysis episode of our little limited series we had. Album analysis, of course, is when Turntable Teachers alumni come back onto the podcast to talk about their brand new project. Sixth and final one that we've done in this last month and a half or so. And last but not least, of course, is our very good friend, Mr. Jay Faith. How are you, sir?
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I'm good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Just hanging in there, living day by day, and just, keep creating and keep working. That's all you can really do, man.
Seriously, I agree. And we were just talking off air too, like, just this time is more time to just keep figuring out your game plan, I think, for life. You know what I mean? Like this 2020 and 2021, even though it's been a tough year, I would say. And I think we still have some dark days ahead. We definitely still got some, yeah. But, we're all doing the best we can. This is the time to game plan and figure things out. So you got a brand new album out already, full length, Moving Out, available on all platforms, linked in the description, guys. Make sure you guys check this out at the conclusion of this episode and to hear more. And yeah, so man, tell me a little bit about making this album, because I know this is one you've been working through and sitting on for a little while. So maybe tell me, because you've also released a few of these singles that were already out, like Outside, Horizon, One Day with Kemic.
This was the greatest story ever told, cause it's mine and I'll tell it till I'm gray and old. Call me Lil Saint, not a single expectation. Jotting notes down for a girl with no patience. Raised by pop culture, fostered in the underground. It was easy writing lyrics, couldn't find a sound. I can't imagine when it's all over.
But yeah, so tell me a little bit about, how this project kind of came together and how you decided on calling it Moving Out.
Yeah, so not to echo on some past people, but this was also not supposed to even be an album. Realistically, what I wanted to do was keep just for the start of 2020 was just to put out singles. I was initially going to start working on my next upcoming project called Apartments. And I was going to work over down at with Mertz over at the Bridge Sound and Stage. Shout out to them, by the way. They got an amazing team over there. So I was going to start working with him, and then COVID kind of kicked in, and I really wanted to get in the studio for Apartments. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to put this on hold and kind of figure things out and see where kind of COVID takes us. And obviously it's taken us, 8 months deeper than we kind of planned and expected. So, maybe, April, May timeframe, kind of realizing where things really were settling into. I was like, I can't not put something out. Musically, I want to put a project out. I can't wait. I can't, sit around and just kind of, hope that things open back up. So I kind of came up with a game plan to start putting Moving Out together. I didn't have a title or anything. It was just, the project idea was there. So, I started, getting the beats together, and, just kind of slowly putting it together, grabbing features, obviously, Kemic, and some of the other features that we're going to talk about shortly. It just started coming together, and I think COVID kind of had an effect on that, because it just made me start to appreciate some of the things that I had in my life. Instead of worrying about what I didn't have, fortunately I was able to have a job throughout this whole thing. So, I was just grateful to be able to provide for my family and all that kind of stuff. So it just put a new perspective on for me, in a way, even though how crazy COVID is.
You can call it crazy COVID. That's fine.
Exactly. So, I'm putting it together, and, I said, well, why don't I have something that's kind of a lead up to Apartments? And, what better thing than, you're moving out of your house, and kind of the theme of that is, moving away from things that are holding you back, limiting you. Obviously, again, kind of COVID is limiting everybody. But, it's more things, in my own personal life is stepping away from those things that were holding me back and, jumping into something new and, jumping outside the box, no pun intended, moving. Um, and then just also, again, just kind of leading up to apartments, in that sense. So I thought that, the name just kind of fit very well in just transitioning into that. Um, and then for me, moving out was kind of the start of me really getting into writing music for me. I think minus my first project, everything in between up until maybe Right Mind was was me, but it felt like it was sprinkled with what I thought people wanted to hear. Whether in not in a negative way either, it was just the influences that, me coming up in the music industry, kind of dealt with, and then just seeing what the music industry had. Um, I was putting out stuff that I thought people wanted to hear. And now I'm really, once I get into apartments, you're going to really start to see this is music strictly for me. And I don't care what anybody has to say about it. These are things, thoughts, and feelings that I've had for 5+ years that I'm finally able to get out. So moving out was just a great way to start that transition and kind of break some of those chains, moving forward.
Yeah. Well, I've even heard a few of the demos off of, I'm sure if they're actually going to be off of apartments or not. The ones you
Yes.
sent me. Oh, they are. Okay, so that's even more so. So I can definitely second that you have some things to say on this apartments project. I'm sure, as I've already heard. But for the people that's listening now and like that's out, I mean, I think moving out has a ton to say too. I think that there's a lot here that it can resonate with a lot of people. And I actually, so my favorite part of this beginning of this project is easily this introduction. It is so great, man. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind doing something like this for the introduction, because I really mess with this heavy.
For you to initial and sign, and we'll go over those individually.
Sounds easy enough.
But do you have any questions before we get started?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you'll get your advance, which will have to be repaid once the album comes out. Yep. You'll get 2% from album sales and 1% from any merch.
Damn, that low?
All expenses are on you, so don't look to us for any other help. Artist development is non-existent as part of the agreement.
Okay.
Your mental health is not a concern of ours, so you'll have to manage that yourself while abiding by all appearances and events you'll need to attend.
But what if...
Forget about your family.
Wait,
they don't
what?
matter anymore, because you're here to make money. We're also gonna change what you're gonna rap about. No more motivating people or talking about your nephew and dad that passed. No one wants to hear that. Money, cars, girls, that's it. Oh, and drugs too, whatever you prefer.
Are you serious right now?
You're not you anymore. You're not whatever we say you are, and you can't change that once you sign the contract. You wanna be famous, right? Make a lot of money, right?
Stop! Can't do this. I'm not for sale.
The intro is actually super fun to make. I didn't anticipate it was gonna be as comical as it turned out to be, which was actually a good thing. I had created the second song NSFW first, and I was like, you know what, I want to I've never really done like a talking intro, a little like skit intro. I'm not a huge fan of skits, but I was like, I want to do a pretty solid intro. And so I hit up Iamsoloco, who's featured on Outside. He's featured on a couple other tracks and also helped mix and master the project itself. So shout out to him for all the work that he's put into this as well. I reached out to him. I said, hey, here's the script. I was like, would you be just down to, hop on this and be kind of the industry, as I'm, getting my deal and, super excited. And then you kind of break down the reality of it all. For a lot of industry deals, I'm not saying all of them, but for a lot of them, that's kind of the predicament that people get put into. So, and he just played it off very well, because he like did it so comically. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it was just like he was even making a joke of the industry, like, oh, this is the things that I'm gonna give you, ha ha ha. And it was just, it just made it that when I first heard it back after he sent it, I was like, this is exactly how it needs to be. I don't care what I envisioned. This is how it needs to be in sound. And he did it absolutely perfect.
Oh, so good. I thought it was incredible. I really, really enjoyed it, man. Very, like you said, it gives it like a good personality, I think, at the beginning of the project, but also kind of lends itself to like a really important message too about like, owning your own IP, like, not signing a deal that, especially for artists, right? Or really any content creator, right? Like not signing a deal that's going to bind you or in any way or hinder you from creative control, all that stuff. I mean, that's like a big thing right now for anybody that's, a content creator or a music artist and things of that nature. So I think it's right. I think it's good for you to, recognizing the fallacies of it, but also like, some of it was very tongue in cheek. It was a little, some of it was a little extreme, but that was obviously the point, right? But I think it goes so well into the first real track here, which is NSFW, No Sale Freedom Writers. And again, it works out perfectly that way because it's like I am not for sale. And then you come into No Sale Freedom Writers. So talk to me a little bit about this track. One of actually my favorite tracks on the whole thing, to be quite honest, because I love the sentiment of it. Freedom Writers is actually one of my favorite like movies / I love that. I love
Super dope movie.
Such a good movie because I'm a teacher. Obviously, I enjoy that a lot, but also the story behind it I think is super awesome too, and the real story, not like the movie story. But tell me a little bit about this track.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to make I was just thinking, and I was like, I want to make a track that's, I'm not for sale. I was looking at like, I forget what I was watching, but I was watching something, or listening to something, and somebody was saying, got this industry deal, and they didn't realize like, they'd have to pay that money back, and they're not getting the support that they needed. And I was like, that's something that I don't want to happen to me. And I think what struggles for a lot of people or artists when they jump into these deals is, they don't look at the contract as deep as they should, or have somebody else look at them, and then they're like, oh crap, like I'm stuck in this deal, or I'm stuck in this publishing way longer than I expected. Like I thought I was going to get a mill, and and now I'm left with 1,000. What happened? And it's like, no, like you got to pay for this, and this, and we pay for this. So I wanted to kind of make that statement of, I'm not, and I'm also not going to sell my integrity for who I am. You want to sign me for what you have seen so far. Don't try to change me and try to mold me into something else. I'm not selling my integrity for that. So my integrity is not for sale, and my mental health is not for sale. So either take me as I am, or I'm gonna keep continuing to be exactly who J Faith is. So I wanted to kind of keep that continuation from the intro along with that. And obviously I have Theory on there, who contributed a super solid verse. Couldn't have been more happier with that verse. He absolutely killed it, and just a great contribution to just the project. And then obviously we added a little continuation from the intro in there just to kind of tie everything together. So it was just a lot of fun, and again, we kind of, once we did the intro, I was like, hey, do you want to just throw something in there too, to just kind of just combine everything with Iamsoloco? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, man. And it made perfect sense, and it was just super fun just to put it all together. And we're freedom writers. We're here to just write and express our creativity. We don't want any chains. We don't want to be held down by what you say we should write about or talk about. We're here to just speak our piece, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that is good artistry in its own right, especially as a musician, right? You want your message to reach as many people as it can reach, but also you don't want to be restrained in what you can say. And I totally love just the sentiment of the whole, not only the whole project, but just this first opening couple of tracks and the intro. I just thought it added such a deeper level to it than it would have without these to start. You know what I'm saying? And I think that even just, and then moving out as a sense too, like I think when I first initially heard this project, and this, of course, the first few songs too, I almost thought of it too as like an interesting metaphor for like moving out of the what has been the norm potentially in the music industry for a long time, which is, you ink that deal. And I think Chance the Rapper was one of those, first artists, and especially in hip hop, that says, hey, you don't need to sign to a major label. Like, you can do this independently and own all your IPs and all that stuff. And that is a big thing nowadays, right? Making sure that, you don't give up your IP too quickly for the wrong deal or whatever the case. So there's just, I thought the sentiment, and then the track's awesome too. I loved Theory's verse too. I thought that was a really, really good one. Absolutely killed it. Guest features were great on here, and of course, Iamsoloco is one of them. Last time when you were on the podcast, you actually talked about this track. It's how it wasn't even that long ago, but you talked a little bit about Outside. But what was kind of for you, like, because you had put a couple of the songs that had already been out onto the project, so. Where did those kind of fit? I know you said, because you were saying this wasn't really supposed to be like a project to begin with, but for you, like putting Outside in it, especially putting it in that third song there, what was the thought process behind including Outside as a I guess a single for the album?
Yeah, I wanted Outside on there, and it fit perfectly with the meaning behind the project, because a lot of people, and I say this at shows and people have heard me say it countless times, a lot of people only view who people are through social media, or even just what they perceive on the outside. So I wanted people to just move away from that, like
Right.
get to know somebody, learn about them. Don't rely on social media. Actually check in with people, see how they're doing, especially with COVID. Especially with COVID, we keep going back to COVID, but just in general, check in with people, see how they're doing, because there's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of different stuff that it never shows. You look at like Chester Bennington, one of my favorite artists, from Linkin Park.
Oh God, yeah.
One of the happiest dudes. You'd see him jam out, rock. He was with his family the night before, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's gone. Robin Williams, one of the funniest dudes in the world.
Yeah.
Never would have thought this dude was as upset as he was. Gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, to think like people who are out there trying to make people happy, trying to make people laugh, inspire people, like they're still human beings. Like they're still dealing with stuff. Your celebrities that you see on social media, and they're posting up their cars and, oh, I'm on vacation here. Like they're still going through something. Like they still deal with stuff. They may not be going through it at that time, but they're still dealing with that stuff. So like, just please, like, just check in with people, make sure they're okay. Like, even if it's just, hey, just wanted to check in real quick. All right, cool. I'll check in with you later type of thing. At least you're just, lending that shoulder and just being there, for them.
Yeah, no, I love that you brought that up too, because it's actually kind of a funny story, because we were just talking about this the other day in my house, because for just privacy reasons, I won't name the person or anything like that, but there was a man that I grew up with, I guess. Not grew up with, I shouldn't say that, but he was the father of my brothers. They had some classmates. He was the father of my brother's classmates, and he coached sports in my hometown, like youth sports, and I knew him through like some family friends and things like that. Like he's related to some people that I'm really close with. He just was somebody that was, again, always so happy and always in a good mood. And even when I was an adult, like as I was a little older, when I used to go to Planet Fitness, actually, when I was like 21, 22, still living, yeah, I would see him at the gym all the time, and he was such just a beautiful soul. Like always was like smiling, asking, wanting to talk to, have a conversation, and unfortunately took his life. And it's just one of those things where it's just, like you said, you just don't know what people are going through, and even the happiest people can do, you know what I mean? It's so sad. And it's like it's going to take, I think, some of these experiences and people that have gone through this for us to all realize, like, we cannot make this taboo anymore. Like mental health cannot be taboo anymore. Like we cannot sit here and treat it like it's some horrible disease and not talk about it. And so for you to bring that up in your music, I know it's something that is being talked about a lot more these days. It's being more normalized, and I just hope that we can continue to make it more normalized,
Yeah, because I think, I see a lot of people, they're just, like they say, oh, just get over it or let it go. And for some people, it's not that simple. You're
Mm-mm,
not in their shoes.
mm-mm.
You can't say, just get over it. Like, you really have to
Right.
figure out what the triggers are, what the root is. Talk to them, figure out, like, how are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? Like, get to know them, figure out the issue. Don't just brush it off because you think they're just being extra or dramatic.
Exactly, exactly. And really, again, if we recognize that and work towards that more so, I just feel like it'll bode well for everybody in society, and then that'll bolster people and give people the courage, I think, to like step outside and talk about these issues. So I love that you brought that into the project. Um, bring it back to Iamsoloco. He comes on again on this project. He's on Around the Corner as well. So that track. How did that track come together? He had his hand in a lot of this stuff, huh? He's a good artist. I really I've never obviously heard of him until you kind of showed me him and put me onto him. So he definitely had a hand in this, huh? And especially with the mastering as well.
Oh yeah, he's very versatile. I mean, he could sing, he can rap, and he's just a super genuine dude. I he's been a pleasure to work with. Obviously, I definitely we have some stuff that we're going to be working on in the future. But yeah, he definitely had a huge hand in this project, and just whether it was mixing and mastering, adding additions to tracks. But Around the Corner, I it was kind of a mist. George Floyd, Kobe, all these little thing. I don't say little to boost it down. All these little things that were happening, um, not only just nationwide, but things that I was noticing literally around the corner from me, down the street from me. If you hear the song, you know, this couple was walking, and these dudes are drag racing, and they end up hitting the couple and killing them. And the couple was just about to go on vacation. The husband had just like survived cancer. That was just right around the something like that, so tragic, was just right around the corner for me. I actually saw the cops like driving to it that day too, which is
Jeez.
crazy. I didn't realize it until it was after. um in the song, the same day that Kobe died, a doc committed suicide literally right next to my apartment. He
No
was
way.
actually a psychologist therapist for people, like trying to help people.
This is what I'm talking about, man.
So like I was thinking of this the whole time we were talking about outside, and I was like, it's literally exactly what you're just talking about. He committed suicide off of the building. I'm not sure why, but I was we were walking, we were going to get breakfast. Dunks is right after that. And we saw, unfortunately, not to be gruesome, we saw the body that was on the ground.
Ugh.
And you know obviously we didn't know anything at the time, and I literally crossed the street. We grab our breakfast, I go across the street, and I'm sitting on the boulevard, and all of a sudden I open my phone, and it's like Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash. And I was like, this is like the darkest like feeling day ever, because obviously I've already unfortunately seen this gentleman
Right.
take his life, or we didn't even know what happened at first. We thought, gunshot, whatever. um and then to just hear that Kobe Bryant helicopter went down,
Mm-hmm.
um it was just crazy to me. So I just started thinking of like, we need to really like wake up to all these things are happening literally right around the corner from us. And
Right.
we're kind of, a lot of the times we kind of just brush it off. Oh, it's whatever. It's, it'll pass. But it's like, again, we jump into kind of the bigger issues like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, those kind of things. Those are huge issues that need to be addressed.
Oh, of course.
So, obviously I kind of lead with, some of the things that are going on around me locally, and then I kind of touch on, kind of the bigger picture. And it kind of transition into, kind of like a Black Lives Matter kind of track. And then, you know, working with I Am So Loco on the track, I initially sent him the beat, and he was having a little it's a little bit, to the left of his style, and that's, nothing wrong with that. And I was like, dude, like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, I really want you on this song, because I just picture you on the song, and I really want you on it. And for some reason sicko mode popped in my head.
Hmm.
And I was like, they completely switched the beat. And I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to duplicate sicko mode in any way. The song is phenomenal and just crazy bananas. But
Not even your style anyway, but continue.
yeah, exactly. But I was like,
Concept of
if they, the same concept, like why can't we switch it up? Let me make something, let me put it in something that's going to fit well for you.
right.
So, I kind of dug around a couple more beats and I was like, here's a couple beats that, I know are going to work for you, you know, figure out which one's going to work best for you and what you can, get the mood across. And he was like, yo, that one, that's the one right there. So I kind of just let him do his thing. And I was like, if you want to try to blend it, switch it up. And, he just transitioned it very well from, what's happening around the corner ain't getting any better. And then he just brought a whole new energy to the end of the song. Especially like his last lines, you ain't, 7 in the back, you ain't gonna be able to breathe. How about that? Like I felt it like the first time I heard it. Like I was bumping it in my truck. I was like, I felt that. I was like, change nothing. Like staying as is. And
Mhm.
it's another one. I'm definitely another one of my favorite tracks on there. Just the transition and just not only the concept, but just the transition and the power and the energy that came from the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's one of my highlights here too. And I just, I guess, like you said, I loved um, that beat switch. There's a great. Thank you for sharing the story behind that too, because I didn't realize that was how that went. But yeah, man, I think that this track came together so nicely, and he, like I say, he's such a versatile artist, and really with what you're addressing in terms of like topically. I mean, I completely agree. I think that we oftentimes don't look to what is going on in our own communities and our own backyards. We're so focused, hyper focused on what's happening, nationally and things like that, and rightfully so. I mean, it's not to say that we shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I even watched I think it was either like a Dateline or something like that thing on Breonna Taylor pretty recently with my girlfriend, and we were just blown away at how just fucked up it was, all of it, and but those types of things could be happening in our back, like I said, our own towns and our own, even where we teach, right? I mean, that's so it's just things like, I mean, not maybe hopefully things aren't happening to that extent, but like subtle microaggressions and racism and things like that. Like that's how, if we're not pointing those things out, then that's when I think we can get dangerous, because that's like we're not pointing out the little things. That's when it tends to build, and then you get a Breonna Taylor, you get a George Floyd, right? Like these mentalities that, and again, it's more than just changing the way that we think and how we interact with people. It's a lot more than that, especially in those situations. So I'm not saying that there's any easy fix here, but if you want to make change in your own community, right? It starts there. It can't start on a national level. So I love that was like the kind of the address of this song.
Yeah. And two, just like really quick, like,
yeah.
And also like people think like, oh, it's not happening to me, so
right,
I don't
so
need to
then,
worry about it,
exactly.
Like that couple, like, oh man, like, that couple, was killed in that car accident. Oh, it's street racers. Oh, well, didn't happen to me. Let street racing go. Like, no, like we need to protect people. Like, it's sad that people can't even go for a walk
right
without worrying about getting hit by a car. Like that's,
mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's making those changes too. Like just because it doesn't affect you directly doesn't mean that you can't have an impact on it and try to, have some influence, like care for other people. Like that's
Literally.
basically, what it's kind of going into is just,
Yeah.
Stop, thinking of ourselves as well, and, start caring for other people, and, look at what's going on around the corner, and, try to make a positive change in that.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. One of my favorite songs, and we're jumping around on the listing, but
That's
I
cool,
really
man.
like Fight. That's probably my favorite. One of my,
Really?
if I have to pick a song from here, that's probably one of my favorites. I love that beat, dude. I love your energy on it. I think that song is incredible. So I'm just willing to, I was going to ask, where did the inspiration for that track come?
So I'm gonna take a giant leap forward, and then I'm gonna take a step backwards.
All right, I'm excited. Let's do it.
This was my least expected favorite received track from anyone. I was very nervous about this track. This is the first track that I probably sang on. Obviously in the hook I kind of add a little bit of vocals in there. So I was very skeptical about the track. Obviously I enjoyed putting it together. It was me stepping out of my comfort zone and trying something a little bit different. Trying a new sound for myself. And I was just like, I'm gonna throw it out there, and if it works, it works. It doesn't, it is what it is. I did a listening party with a lot of the MOCG members, as well as a couple, close fans. And even they were like, fight. That song is so fire. And I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all are seeing so, again, I was very skeptical about it. But I'm glad, again, it's just one of those tracks you don't expect to hit as well as you expected. So that just makes me happy. And that I'm doing something that, again, I stepped out of my comfort zone, and it was received well, and that's the chances that people have to take sometimes. So
Right.
but to take that step backwards, fight was really, the hook came to me literally just hearing the beat. It was that high pitch, that bah, bah, like it was instantly, it was just fight. I just wanted you to let go. And the song just encompasses, it's more for artists or just people chasing after some type of dream. It's gonna get hard, it's gonna get difficult, it's gonna get challenging, you're gonna get disappointed, but keep fighting. Like, I don't want to see you let go. I want to see you to keep fighting. Don't give up. Your day is coming. Just give it a little bit more. Keep pushing that envelope, and just keep trying. Just because I've seen a lot of people that just quit. Oh, I'm tired. People aren't receiving my music. People don't listen to me. Oh, I'm getting old. I'm too tired. It's like, I look at like 2 Chainz, who's up there in his 40s now, fully immersed in his career as 2 Chainz. We heard him as Titty Boy and Duffel Bag Boys and stuff like that, but I think he really emerged when he revamped himself and created a new 2 Chainz. So at a,
I want to say, when that song with Drake popped off, no lie, I want to say he was like late 30s. Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, age doesn't matter as long as you're putting out the right quality of music. And that's a message that that's things that I continue to listen to myself. Obviously I'm 32, and obviously to some that's ancient in the music industry, but
I hate that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I always I appreciate 2 Chainz and what he's been able to accomplish late in his midlife. And just being like, what, I don't care what age I'm at. I'm gonna get my money, I'm gonna get my bag, and that's it. And I'm gonna make music and blow it off the charts. And that's exactly what he did. So that's just my message to artists or anybody just pursuing some type of dream. Just keep pushing, just keep fighting, and it's gonna come. And it may take some time, it may take longer than you expect, but it'll happen as long as you put the work in.
Yeah, and that's a good message. Again, another you just drop a lot of good inspirational messages on this, motivational messages. I feel like anyone that listens to this album, you're gonna probably be inspired in some way, shape, or form after listening to it. And I'm glad that you put fight on here, because it's become probably my favorite song. But I have 2 others that I want to talk about. Well, I have 2 other songs I want to touch upon, because I think that they're good talking points. And then I got a final question before we get to the lyrical breakdown of Horizon. That's the song we will do a full lyrical breakdown for. But definitely wanted to talk about the track with our boy Hero. Had to, right? I mean, just had his album analysis not that long ago, a couple of episodes ago. So yeah, tell me about the Hero track here that we have. Don't try, just do.
I love Hero, man. He's
it's good soul.
He always like, you're my top 20, and he says he looks out to me and stuff, but like he's been an inspiration for me, and just someone who's been devoted to the actual culture of hip hop, even at the age that he is. I just appreciate and I appreciate what he's trying to do for hip hop too, with bars over bars and putting shows together for artists, without having to a pay for play type of deal. So he's not only trying to make a name for himself, but he's trying to make a name for artists themselves,
Right.
by just giving them opportunities to shine and just get the stage for a couple minutes. And that's super dope. Not a lot of people are doing that the way that he's doing it. So just shout out to Hero, man. He's just a super dope dude.
He's the best.
But the beat, I mean, typical Hero fashion, and I was it was a no-brainer in picking Hero for that particular beat. Don't try, just do, kind of the theme behind it. I had launched a kind of a merch project with that as well. Was whenever I would leave the house, kiss my wife goodbye and say, she'd say, have a good day. I'll say, I'll try. She's like, no, don't try, just do it. Like, just have a good day. Like, change your mindset. Stop thinking that your day is already going to go to shit before you even start. Like,
That's
go and be like, just it's what you put out there in the universe is going to come back to you. I definitely firmly believe that personally, but it was that kind of philosophy of and concept of just get it out there. Stop being so damn negative. Just have a freaking good day, so that's where kind of the concept came from. Don't try, just do, hit him with a hook, then a 1 and a 2, fight through it. Like, give it all you got. Stop just backing down and thinking, oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm gonna have such a bad day. It's raining outside. Like, no, like, fight through that. Like, get through that. And having Hero on there, it definitely took me for a loop too, because I had him here for the third verse, and we were kind of bouncing ideas back and forth, and we're like, all right, it'd be cool to go back and forth. So obviously you could, Hero and I trade bars at the end, and I like what came about it, because when we perform it live, we've performed it a couple times, we actually do it as kind of like a back and forth kind of battle type of thing, and it's almost a metaphor for kind of just battling your day, or just things that you're going through. Like, just push through that, man. Just get through it. And it was just cool, the chemistry that we have on stage doing that song, and just going back and forth, and it really represents what the song is. And obviously Hero's verse contributes to that. He's like, man, I'm booking my own shows, I do it on my own, I don't care. I'm gonna take MCs to the head, I'm gonna do, come out blast out of hell with a double shotty for you weak sales, like he's doing it all. Like, I'm just doing it, man. So, his contribution was just super dope. Like, he, again, another just nail on the head for me, and what he brings, for his verse. And again, just, bouncing back and forth at the end, it just added the, just the right amount of mix for it, and obviously does, adds that little scratch in at the end that Hero always does. And just, just made a super fun song. Definitely another one of my favorite songs off the project as well.
It's a great one. It's a great one. Shout out Wifey for the awesome advice as well, by the way. Love that. I am definitely going to start thinking that way a lot more too, because I actually did the same thing too. I was leaving the house today, and even I live with my mom, but my mom lives with me, whatever. And so as I'm leaving, she's like, "Hey, have a good day." And I was like, "Oh, all right, I'll try." And again, it's not something you think about, but it's that mindset of like, hey, like, I have to actually put it out into the universe that I'm going to have a good day. That energy has to come from me. You know what I mean? And if that energy comes from me, then I will attract that energy back. You know what I mean? So I love that. And yeah, Hero, man, he's a character. He's a lyrical miracle. He is one of the sweetest dudes too. And then he's a hustler. He's just so many things you could say about. I don't mean hustler in a negative way whatsoever. I mean it in a good way. Like, he hustles to get what he wants. He just does, like you said, just does what he needs to do. Right.
Yeah.
He has found a way to make bars over bars work through COVID, which. Just such a big commendable thing for him. You know what I mean? To not only put on shows, but to do them safely, and to put on quality ones too. I mean, Shout out Sam, our producer, who's we've watched a lot of them, and we tune in quite a bit. So it's definitely kept us entertained throughout COVID. So big shout out here on Bars Over Bars. And we've seen you on there a bunch of times. And speaking of speaking of Bars Over Bars and MOCG, the last track I want to talk about in depth was Check It Out, the remix, which I thought was super cool that you put on a remix there. You got Life, Just for Kicks, and Etheric. Is that how you pronounce it?
Etheric, yeah.
Etheric. I apologize, Etheric. So Etheric is also on the track as well. What's up with the remix? Why a remix?
So I'll be honest. I was working with Anno Domini, and they had sent me a package of beats, and it just so happened that there was a Check It Out version 2 on there. So obviously I did Check It Out on my last project, Right Mind, and that part 2 came in, and it was honestly just fate. And I was just like, you know what, this is like God telling me, like, you got to do, like, it's obvious, like, here, like, he was literally just like
on a silver platter for you.
Here you go. Just take this. So I was like, you know what, it would definitely be cool to do a remix. I loved the original Check It Out. Obviously I have to have Just for Kicks back on there. And I was like, you know what? I had just kind of gotten into MOCG as a member, and, was building my own foundation within, kind of that group. And I was like, you know what? Let me extend this out to MOCG and just see, who wants to hop on this, and I got a couple feelers, and then, Life, Etheric, and obviously Just for Kicks. They were like, yeah, let's do it, man. And they just put, I just wanted to have a free flowing, just cool track to just chill and bump to, and just go along with the theme of Check It Out. Like, check it out what I'm doing, check it out where I'm at. We're just keeping it chill. We're keeping it cool, just doing our thing,
Mm-hmm.
And, I was just super happy to have it as a MOCG collective, just sharing that brain space.
Mm-hmm.
And just putting together just a super chill song just to vibe with and just listen to. It's just one of those just chill songs you can just bump.
Yeah, no, I think they all had awesome verses too, and killed their parts. And and I love the song that you just released most recently as well. You with Life, BLM. That was another really good highlight for you, I thought, this year too. And he's again another dope artist. So shout out all those guys for sure.
It was just a simple track. Not a simple track. Again, it's just one of those fun tracks you just got to make, and whatever comes from it. I mean, everybody had their own flavor when it came to their verses too. It was different styles, it was different tones, it was different flows, and it just all worked perfectly. I couldn't have asked more, from my bandmates, from them. So, just shout out to MOCG, shout out to all of them, and all that they do. So
rocking the merch too. So
always.
Yeah, I'm rocking the J Faith too.
I saw that. I appreciate that, man. I saw that. That's what's up.
Yeah, so for anybody on the watching on YouTube, I got the J Faith sweatshirt out. I'm sure you guys can hit it.
Coming soon.
Oh, good. All right, yeah, got some merch coming soon too. There's a little sneak preview of that. So
little plug.
Love that. Last question before we get to Horizon and break that song down. Which favorite track on the album, dude? What do you got? If you were to pick one song here, like, this is the one that everybody should go listen to. I know there's 14 or 15 here, so there's definitely a lot. But which if you were to pick one to, like, make it big, all right, be the one that makes it, which one off this track, which one off this project is the one for you?
I think I'm gonna go with probably the most meaningful one to me, which is One Shot. That's one that I've been trying to put together and release for quite some time now. I've had the lyrics kind of written for a while, just never found the right beat, melody, everything to go along with it. One Shot is basically my ode to my family, specifically my family in Texas. Anytime that I would go there after, a long day, they'd come home from work. Hey, who wants a shot? And I'd be like, damn, another shot? Like, what is going on? Hey, man, we just toasting the day. And I was like, you know what? That's super cool. Like, we made it through another work day. we just made it through another day. Like, just to be grateful to make it through another day and to be home with family. And that's what I wanted to get across with the song, is just appreciate every single day, and just celebrate it.
I won't succumb, I'm not what you expected. Holding my own, what you think I neglected. The people who left, so it's right to say bye. Had plenty of exes, so don't tell me why. Give me your promise, it slipped through your hands. When talking to God, you wasn't in the plans. I will not settle, a limit of 5. I am just blessed to be staying alive.
Life is fragile. I don't want to say it's too short because people live long. It's fragile because it ends like that. It breaks that quickly. And I think the best part for me was having my niece. She'd hate to hear me call her my niece because she's probably a year younger than I am. But having her on the track as well, do a little skit on there, and then what made it for me was adding her kids right at the end, saying that they love Uncle Justin, just really brought it home for me. Just again, just that sense of family and belonging, and just appreciation. So I definitely appreciate them. That was probably the most meaningful song for me, just hearing them on it and just what it meant, what the song stood for.
I love that. Great sentiment, great story behind it too. And yeah, another great track on the album, no doubt as well. Guys, make sure you guys go stream this album. It is out now. Make sure you check it out. Before we go, we're not done quite yet. We're gonna do a little lyrical breakdown. We've done this with every episode so far, and we will do this with Horizon, which was one of the lead singles off of the project. So without further ado, sir, take us through Horizon.
Yeah. So my mind is racing, can't move to make a pit stop with no emotion, turn my face into a wristwatch. Just a lot of things that are going on, right now. It's just a lot of things that are happening. And I felt like I just couldn't slow down. It was just constantly boom, 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 one thing after another. And, I'm really showing no emotion. Like I'm just going through the motions, type of thing. So, that's kind of how I start off the song. Steadily pacing, demanding for me to make a choice. I can hear the beat, but there's way too much noise. Again, there's just way too much that's going on right now. I can't focus on one thing. If I'm trying to work on music, I have work that's coming in. If I'm trying to focus on work, I've got, maybe family stuff that's going on. If I've got family stuff going on, I got to work on music. It's like there's so many different things that are just happening at one time. I can't just focus on one thing. Way too much traffic that I'm trying to avoid. As I'm falling from the sky, I think I need to deploy. Practice what I preach. Stop waiting on a prophet. Do it for the love. Stop waiting on a prophet. Deploy what I've already known. Be yourself. Stop waiting for money to come in. It'll happen. Like, stop worrying about it. Stop stressing about it. Like, it's gonna happen. Stop waiting for somebody to come and save you. Like, you just got to take your best foot forward and just push through it and get through that. Bills will get paid. My soul will be saved. Depicting therapy for suppressing rage. Count 'em up. I'm on my 41st mistake. Grab the mic and we'll talk about what's misplaced. So obviously I lead into, my bills will get paid. I'll be fine. Everything's going to be cool. Just chill out. And then, grab the mic. We'll talk about it. That was kind of a shot to Mike over at 41st Casanova. Not a bad shot. Him and I have been, working together for a while now on some different things and topics, and, sometimes, life just gets in the way. We face some challenges, let's just come back together and, figure this thing out. Let's get it back together. Mm-hmm. There's a desert I'm going to always have to walk through. You'd be surprised what my mind will help me talk through. Turn around, stumble back, sacrifice everything, a double back. So our minds kind of play tricks on us. They'll tell us, no, you can't do it. You got to stop. You got to quit. It's not going to work. They're not going to listen to you. So you got to, again, that's something else that you have to kind of push through is yourself. You got to move past yourself and your own limitations, the limitations that you're setting for yourself. Get through that. put that to the side. Stop. Sometimes you got to not listen to yourself.
Yes, very much so.
You know what
Sometimes
I'm saying? And just, it's going to tell you to do one thing, but you got to just, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, but just get back up and just go for it. And then it jumps into the hook. I could see on the horizon, we rising. When, it was crazy because I put this out right before COVID even started, but I wanted people to see, again, like we've been talking about, you're going to go through some struggles. You're going to go through some hard times. You got to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, because that horizon, it's right there. Like, you can see it. You just got to keep walking and keep your eyes forward. Stop looking left, stop looking right, stop looking behind you. Keep looking forward at your goal and your mission. Stop worrying about everything else that's going on kind of around you. I'm on a rooftop staring out like I'm Caesar, deciding what to conquer. I'm compelled to pull the lever. I'm making my game plan. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to kind of move things along. I prefer a reverb fully extended like a full clip towards fools who want to pretend. Disappointment is the hardest pill to ingest. I am pleading no contest. Disappointment is a hard pill to swallow. It's hard to face, but and I'm admitting that. That's just kind of where I admit that, and it's that self-reflection of it. It's tough, man. It's tough, but we're here, and that's where we're at. Catch me out of pocket, still going for the Hail Mary, full of grace, congregation ready. No matter what situation I'm in, I'm going to find my way out of it. Basically how, short, simple, and sweet. I'm going to get out of it. Catch me out of the pocket, I'm still going for it. That plain and simple. Mind's heavy, to women to balance like a seesaw. For you to enter, need a key card. Two women that I love in my life, my mom, my wife, obviously balance those two important people in my life. And for you to enter into my life, like, you need special permission. Like, I don't just let anybody in my circle anymore, because I've been messed around with, I've been lied to, not in a relationship sense, but just in friends, and cheated around with, that kind of thing. So it's very specific, who I'm letting into my circle. In that sense. Two women to balance like a seesaw. For you to enter, need a key card. Right in my wrongs to my hand cramp. Flip the game over, make you do a handstand. Oh damn. I'm trying to literally right my wrongs, as hard as I can. I'm not gonna give up if I'm, dog tired. Like, I'm gonna make sure that I fix any mistakes that I've made, in this life as best that I can, and I'm gonna do it gracefully. I'm gonna, change the way people view things. If you have to flip over and do a handstand, to do it. That's just, how it's gonna be. Delirious and passing out through the city lights. So many rights, taking freedom, new city heights. Fainting from views that'll surely take your breath away. Top of the morning, yeah, we wake into a better day. Again, there's just a lot of things that are going on. People are getting lost. People are, losing their way. They're just getting blinded by a lot of different things. But it's right there. Just get through that day, and I guarantee you, when you wake in the morning, it's a new day.
I can see it on the horizon. We rising, we rising. I can see it on the horizon. We rising, we rising. I can see it on the horizon.
Boom, there it is. Horizon, everybody. The lyrical breakdown off of the brand new project, Moving Out. It is out now on all streaming services. Make sure you go check this thing out, guys. It's a beautiful body of work. A lot of great local artists on it that you've heard already on this from this episode. And once again, thank you so much, Jay Faith, for taking us through the album. And this was a ton of fun and a lot of great information, inspiration, motivation, tidbits just about your life. Like, thank you so much for sharing everything, man. Truly means a lot. Be on the lookout for obviously more J Faith stuff. Obviously, like, I think this merch is coming pretty soon, so
coming soon.
Check that out. I'm wearing it. It's dope. It's comfortable, right? It's it's feeling good. We're ready for winter, I think, right? It's keeping me nice and warm right now. And then look out for more Right Mind stuff as well with J Faith as well. Obviously, you guys have been seeing, we've been doing some work with J Faith's Right Mind initiative. Definitely some bigger things coming in 2021 with that initiative, with with our partnership as well. If you're a fan of J Faith or Right Mind, make sure you guys follow it. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this a million times by now, but if you're somehow missed it and you're not following us, make sure you following us at Turntable Teachers on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Turntable Teachers, and subscribe to us wherever you hear podcasts. Head to our website, www.turntableteachers.com. Everything there. Got a lot of got a whole Right Mind page actually on that website now as well too, with all the resources we've been compiling over the last, I'd say, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months or so.
4 or 5, yeah. Damn, it's been that long.
Roughly about that, something like that. Yeah. And yeah, we got a lot more to come in. And Jay, tell the people where they can find you as well.
Find me Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. J_Faith Official, SoundCloud, all streaming services. Spotify, Apple Music, you know how it goes.
Make sure you guys, again, once I said, check that out. It's going to be linked in the description. And once again, Jay, thank you so much for being here. Truly was an excellent episode. Back for your sophomore episode with the Turntable Teachers. I'm sure, like you said, plenty more from J Faith coming in 2021 with us. So, but once again, guys, thank you so much for a wonderful year. This is actually our last album analysis, our last guest speaker up, whatever you want to call this. This is the last guest for 2021, and we're leaving off on a bang. Good one. We will be full swing in 2021, but don't wait. Just wait 1 second. We got some really cool projects and episodes coming to finish out the year. We have our year-end lists vastly approaching, and I am really excited to get those for you guys. I'm sure you guys will really enjoy those a ton. So make sure you stay tuned for those. But thank you so much, J Faith. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially dismissed. Turntable Teachers.